Blessings to you.
I've waited so long for these. There are some things you simply cannot do with ordinary blades. Beautiful, exquisite things. The city has no parallel, and it's only half built. I can't even conceive of all the contributions we will make to these lands in learning and policy. It is where the greatest minds of the gnomes, the scholars, can determine the underlying rules and laws of existence. From here, our power is born. I got my start doing vivisections in the laboratories. I showed enough knowledge of humoral balance and physiology that I was asked to join the Basilica. My colleagues are always at the forefront of research. I must stay at my best to keep up. Very well.
Be quick. Be quick.
Well, look at you.
Blessings to you.
What?
Further, what I found today.
What? out in the sands.
Look, Beeson has carved his own way into the mountain, and that will be our route as well. Let's go. Yes, the crown will emerge at Cloudcrest's summit. That's where Beeson will be.
Oathblade.
It's good to be back in the thick of it. There's no doubt he's up there, and no knowing what he's capable of when cornered. But we do have the element of surprise. I'd been yearning to return to the field of battle. And I feel that I owe Gwyn this, at the very least. So that's the fabled hammer. How does it gleam like that? What odd markings it has. Precious few advance in rank so quickly. Then again, things don't often go normal around you, do they? A Warsworn has to be a stalwart soldier. But more than that, you've got to show that fact to the world. Climb to the top. Show these wretches our sword arms. Defeat Beeson. Shouldn't be too hard now, should it?
We are not at the summit yet, Warsworn.
iron chain stands ready to serve.
We'd better keep going.
Great gods!
We'll hold them back. You go on. Do what you came to do.
What have you done, you fool? Do you think this war can be won without me? Mortals cannot triumph against such malice. We've fought this war for more than 10 years. We could fight 100 more, and for nothing. I could have ended it. I could have promised 1,000 years of peace and protection under my rule. With Kamazandu at my side, and an Iskaru host at my command, who could threaten us? No one. I am sick of the doctrines of Rathir. Power must be hidden, guide from an unseen source. Cowards. Great power must reveal itself and stretch its wings. Why not? Great fire forges swords. The foolish always let such things keep them from the greater good. Peace will not come on its own. We must bend the cycle of the seasons if we desire lasting peace. There is no other way. Now die!
It seems I won't be stretching my limbs so soon. It is a shame that the mage proved so feeble an instrument of my will. Would that I had a better, stronger one. That is true. What a shame. I was nearly free after so long. But the seal is cracked, and my mind may now wander. Imagine what I could do if I had an instrument through which to act as well. Your glory is bright, little one. But in less than a blink of my eye, your candle will flicker and fade. A whiff of smoke, then nothing. But I will be here still. I will chuckle when you die. And when I am freed, I will laugh until the seas boil and the mountains shake. I made your choice. Be gone.
Were you talking to someone? Never mind. I saw it all from over there. You were like one of the first sworn in living flesh. When you're ready, head back to the Hall of the First Sworn. Don't keep us waiting there, all right? Dead, right over there. Aegon himself would have been impressed. Kamazondu is restored to its prison, thanks to you. I don't know how you forged it or what magic it contains, but I do know it worked. I saw it for myself. Yes, to the hall. Just come, you'll see. Hall of the First Sworn. Don't delay.
Enter. Stand before the sworn. You have done great deeds. You have shined brightly as Caerwyn's blade and cleared the dust from our most glorious past. You have felled foes beyond imagining, and stayed true and sworn to war. Therefore, I proudly bestow upon you the high and treasured rank of True Sworn. With one hand, we remain sworn to war in the noble mercenary's creed. With the other, we shall keep watch and strike at every Niskaru threat. How can I help you? That such a madman exists proves only that there can be others. I am an old soldier. I have seen a great deal, but I am humbled to be standing here. One or two rare souls are awarded the rank in a lifetime. Mine was earned saving the Order from schism and disarray. But that was years ago. When the Crystal War truly ends, a keep will be established there in Cluricon. Most of our ranks will come back west, however. Though the old keeps will fill, somehow, I do not foresee idle hands. Something tells me Niskaru will be found, and we will fight them.
We meet again, soldier. Congratulations. You have done remarkable things. The world is better off without such men. I knew her mother well. I think that perhaps Gwyn has always been a hero, waiting for her tale to commence. You could not have found a better companion against this foe. Many times I have passed these ruins. In my youth, I explored them often, but I never imagined this could be here. From all I have heard, the title is well earned. Bear it proudly.
We did it. You did it. You were like another Aegon. I still can't believe it. One of the first sworn stands before me, and I can call him friend. Did he truly wish to use Niskaru to win the war, I wonder? Or had chaos simply twisted his mind? You've more than earned it. I know. I was there.
Good work, old friend. Now that was a display. We saw the fight in the end, though we were too late and too far to lend a hand. It's quite old, I'm sure. Bit dusty for my taste. Now there's a feather for your cap, and well deserved at that.
I've come all the way from Cluricon to see this True Sworn. The tales we've heard of your deeds, of Gwyn's deeds, and it seems that the tales are true. So he thought to end the war, did he? I wake and sleep upon the front, and I've never dreamt such a foolish dream. I've known Gwyn a good many years. Made pledge shield on the same day, she and I. Always knew she had greatness in her. And to think old Demon himself once walked this hall. That's it then? Looks old for a new-made thing. The light upon it. Swear I've never seen anything like it. Call me a Castellan without a keep. Within the greater army is a smaller, war-sworn force. And that force answers to me. That's a title of honor. See you keep it free of tarnish or shame. Where there's war-sworn. Our way is the soldier's life. It gets under your skin and into your blood, and there it stays.
A fine job of it all around.
Welcome.
Just give me a straight answer. Is the General still in the cradle of summer?
She is for as much good as it'll do her. But the cards don't lie. She'll never get that door open. Fate says it's so.
Yes. Well, then I suppose we'll just have to change fate, won't we? Thank you for coming all this way. I don't know if you heard that, but it sounds as if General Talera is still here in exile. For all but losing the fortress of Mel Sinshir. Long ago, Talera led our forces, but then the Tuatha produced a foe she could not best. Her forces barely survived the retreat out of Cluracan. Many blamed her for the loss, to have built up hopes so high, only to have them topple. That was Talera's crime, and she has paid for it, day after day. You're as quick as ever. Talera is in the cradle of summer, banished from the battlefields of Mel Sinshir until she can atone for her past. According to the Fate Weaver here, she seeks an artifact from Ural Tusk that might break the siege and aid our forces. But she cannot do so alone, for poor Talera is fated never to succeed. That is where you can help. In a hidden valley, northwest of the plains of Erethel, the ruins of Ural Tusk lie undisturbed, as they have for many centuries. What Talera wants there is beyond me, but I trust her, even if it goes against my better judgment. Last I heard, General Talera was somewhere in northern Erethel, searching for a way to turn the tide of the war. I think she took a squad to Uraltusk. You should be just what the General's looking for.
I'm Orca Tetran, village healer. You're new in Amer. I never forget a face. Are you with the refugees? I'm sure you've heard about how Amer is the birthplace of modern herbalism, a cradle of enchanted flora, a haven for the wildest reagents. Me, I don't care about that. I like the people. We get all sorts of interesting folk in here, like Oddwald the Scribe, like you. Nope, I'm never bored. Not in Amer. I've never met one so obsessed. He goes on and on about his life's work, as if other mortals will find his study of the Fae as fascinating as he does. You can usually find him holed up in his house across the way, but sometimes he spends time here with us in the tavern. They are a sorry caravan. I, for one, believe their stories. Look what the Tuatha have done across the sea, and what they intend to do if they arrive here. Gods forbid. What would stop them from sending warriors to hunt us down by our very hearths? The Tuatha will not rest until they break us. That is why we must never let them. Bye.
Hello there.
Stay safe.
Militia in the streets, refugees at the gates. What's become of our little village?
Please, make yourself comfortable. We don't see too many travelers in a mare these days. Not with that forest of tents growing out front. Relax, and partake of what our small hamlet has to offer. This is the birthplace of alchemy in the Feylands. These plains have been soaked in the deepest magic. Every leaf, every stem, every root holds secrets. If you want to know more about our history, and about the fascinating flora and fauna of the Forsaken Plain, speak to Molly upstairs. She's a sweetie. Refugees from the coast of Twili. They claim their village was burned by Tuatha, but I know better. The Tuatha here in the realm of the Summer Court? I think not. They began arriving several weeks ago, marching from Galafor with their belongings dragged behind them. We've given them all we can, but we only have so much. Be well.
Hello. Mind your business. Ignore the pint. I'm working here. I was a soldier once. In the years before the Crystal War. I saw many die at Galafor Fields. You could say I learned my lesson. I'm here as a recruiter for the Alfar army. My superiors believe there's still fresh blood to be wrung from the Forsaken Plain. They're wrong, of course. Let's just say I'm glad I'm not one of them. War is harsh on many people in many ways. Those of us who can avoid the suffering should. Good riddance. Day, isn't it?
Pain.
From the naked dirt sprang the Majestics, the firstborn of the wilds of Ashara. Around them, They heard the song of splendor of a once and future summer, and they responded. And the earth moved. The carver shaped, the architect built, and the shaper composed. Departing their home beyond the Vale, the firstborn were torn asunder, with a cry that still lingers in the heart of every god tree and mountain. Then, emptiness, followed by a darkening sky, and the frost wept with the first winter.
Hail! I am General Talera ap Gwydion, former commander of the Eastern Alfar forces. Surely you're not the aide Aelin Shear promised. She spoke as if she planned to send a whole squad of soldiers, not one faceless mercenary. You have the bearing of one that's seen combat, but you never fought in the war, or you would know who I am. Once I was the commander of Mel Shear, the Alfar fortress to the east. I held back the Tuatha at every push before the Baelor came. Then everything fell to pieces. So, she is behind this. That woman. One too many times she's meddled in my affairs, making promises she never intends to keep. Well, perhaps it is for the best. The fewer people involved in my affairs, the better. You see, misfortune follows closely at my heels. It is the lot fate has cast for me. The Baelor is a thing of dread, an Iskaru lord that the Tuatha managed to coerce into fighting on their behalf. Against the Tuatha I had some success, but no ordinary weapon can best the Baelor. One must fight darkness with light. We may be lofty, but we are not weak. Our land is cold and harsh, and we have long studied the noble arts of bow and blade. Across 1,000 battlefields, my spear paints a red masterpiece. Mel-Sen-Shir is the gateway into Cluracan, but it's been under siege ever since my defeat. I failed the city once. I can't fail them again. With Tuatha raiding parties along the shores, Rathia has the only port for safe passage across the strait. But after assisting Mel-Sen-Shir for so many years, the ruling council of Rathia is loath to offer more aid for what they see as a lost cause. 10 years ago, I served the Alfar armies, defending Cluracan and Mel-Sen-Shir from the Tuatha armies. Then, Witch Knight Malwyn led his Tuatha summoners against us. The fiends routed my soldiers at every turn. Now they've had Mel-Sen-Shir under siege for years, while I've been searching for a weapon to turn the tide. Earl Tusk, the tomb of the Divine Fang, the piercing light. With a weapon like that, I could rally the troops at Mel-Sen-Shir and perhaps redeem myself. They say the ruin is guarded by legions of Niskaro, led by a beast known as Azagal. Whether this is true or the stuff of legend, I don't know. Long after the Arathi left our world, the mortals built these windstones to call them back down. I've never seen them work, but, as I said before, I'm not known for my good fortune. The years have been long since I first learned of the means that might deliver Mel-Sen-Shir from the Tuatha. It lies in Earl Tusk, beyond a gate fated never to be opened, in a hall awash with Niskaru. Any who seek access to the ruin must face them. These ruins are said to be the resting place of the Piercing Light, a spear carved from the tusk of the Niskaru Duke, Gajor. The legends say it destroys any horror, in the mind or on the battlefield. No place is more deserving of such a power as Mel-Sen-Shir. For all my years of research, I've only ever found one clue to this puzzle: when the great voices rise in song. It may refer to the wind stones scattered across the plains. They bear a striking resemblance to the stones of this ruin. But that's simply me grasping at answers. Take this chime. It is said to have been taken from the ruin during its construction many centuries ago. I've tried using it on the windstones with no luck. The inscription says the gate will open when the great voices rise in song. I think this means the windstones that are spread across Erethel. There's one just a little to the south. Go there and strike this chime near it. I'll stay here to see if it has any effect. The windstones are located all across the plains. I can't believe it. The gate shifted? For all my efforts, you simply appear and make it respond. No. You've opened one part of the gate, but 4 more remain. You must find the wind stones scattered throughout the plains and activate them. I will remain here. The Niskaru will sense that the seal is weakened. Someone must try to hold them back. Go sound the chime at each windstone in Erethel. That's the only way to open the gates. I'll stay here and fight any Niskaru looking to sneak past us. You've done it. The ancient Irathi sealed this place centuries ago, and it opens to welcome you. Incredible. The piercing light should be in the deepest vault of these ruins. Be careful. The Niskara will do anything to keep us from that spear. The piercing light awaits. The Niskaru took everything from me. My soldiers, my station, everything. All my life burned when Baelor rose over the fields of battle. These Niskaru, they were not always in the war. It wasn't until the Witch Knight Malwyn started making pacts with them that they fought alongside the Tuatha. We're close now. I've heard that the spear is guarded by the Niskaru warrior Azagal. We will learn if it still is. I see the spear. The Niskaru were sure to press the attack. You must hold them off. I don't know what to feel. All the years I spent trying to claim this weapon, and I never truly thought I would. I was not fated to have it. Not until you came. You have thrown back the veil of fate and revealed what is truly possible. It's almost enough to make me believe in second chances. Yes, but it is so much more. This will end the siege of Mel Senshir. It will bring the death of the Baelor. It will give me my chance for redemption. And I never would have laid hands on it, if not for you. Kind words, but not true. My day will come when Baelor is dead at my feet. And I would be honored to have you beside me then, too. Meet me at Rathir, the city in the east. Together we will break the siege of Mel Senshir and turn the Tuatha tide. Because of my failure, Mel Senshir has suffered years of siege. Even if I kill Witch Knight Malwyn and save the city, their pain is still my fault. To get to Mel Senshir, we need to take a ship from Rathir, and that means convincing Elund Karth, the city's ruler. With the wards down, I think we can get out this way. liberation of Melsenshire is close. Hurry! With the wards down, I think we can get out this way. We have a problem. Elund Karth refuses to send any troops to assist Melsenshire. The old fool never would listen to reason. I certainly hope so. We're going to need every sword we can muster. You can find him in the upper city, staring over the strait at Melsenshire. The fool might as well be at its funeral. The man is not a warrior by nature. He cannot abide another risk for this city. But he's an idiot if he thinks we will get another opportunity such as this. They're in the city, but they can't join us unless Elund Karth grants his blessing for them to go with us. Agarth has gone to reason with him. He was a fine fighter, as I recall, but I do not know if his diplomacy is as practiced.
aside.
Students of magic, masters of spells.
Watch maze is just too expensive.
Then she looked at me and said, "If that's a war wound."
The goddess watch over you.
Citizen. Then someone else will have to. Damn fool. Any luck finding the old gnome?
What do you want? I'm beset by petitioners these days. Another advocate for this absurd plan to retake Melsenshire, I take it. Look to Rathia's sister across the strait. Her battered walls, her burned gardens, her back broken from a decade of war. We take in refugees. We send them food that we can spare. We try to ease her pain. But for 10 years I stood here and watched her die slowly. And now you, a stranger, think to convince me to commit the whole of this city to saving her because our army's greatest failure has recovered some old relic. Melsenshire stands as Rathia's eastern shield. Even now, nearly broken, she still stands. This city can do nothing for the fortress, but perhaps its people can. The wounded we have here wish to return to fight for the fortress one last time. I'll tell them to meet you at the docks, and take this as well from my own collection. May it be of use to you in the coming battle. They have delved earthward where we have lifted high. They think no one watches them because they are thus sheltered. The deeper they dig, the higher we will rise. I am the Elund, and I speak with the voice of the Orbakant. Within this city, my word is law. The city of walls is lost to us, and we can afford no more troops for them. Better to muster our forces to counterattack after its fall. They rule Rathia, and they do so from behind a veil. I am their face and their voice. Rathia has taken in half of Melsenshire's population as refugees from the war. Orphans fill our poorhouses. They've never seen their parents' city and never will. I realize they long for their home, but they need to accept a painful fact. Rathia is their only home now. Melsenshire is no more. You carry with you Rathia's bravest sons and daughters. Realize that if you fail to liberate that withered wall, you will have doomed our city as well. Do not speak to me of the war. I am the voice of Rathia, not a general or a fate weaver, nor Lyria herself, who alone controls the outcome. Go to the eastern docks in the lower city and find Captain Dodwin. He will oversee your journey to Melsenshire. Go. Save our sister across the sea or die with her.
If you please.
Students of magic, masters of spells.
City Watch, be on your way.
It's good to be back.
This is all the help we get?
We're so close. Hurry now. A thousand times you could ask that question, and every time I would answer yes. Absolutely yes. But there is something terrible about arriving at a day you've been anticipating for years.
The ships are loading now for Melsen Shear. Are you ready to board? Right away.
Agarth, you know better than any of us how this will end. Why must we fight a war that you know we will not win?
You would still ask that to Lara, after all you've seen.
Until I get an answer, Fate Weaver. Until then.
Why do we fight? Because there is hope. Because only through battle can we break the chains that fate has forged. Don't you see? We have been given a chance. And though some of us will die, we will die knowing that our lives were finally our own. That we are no longer slaves to the whims of fate. Would you throw it away? Just for fear of another defeat? Not I. I will fight. And if I die knowing that I have made a choice. And this choice, for good or for ill, was my own.
Watch yourself when you're on the wall. Can't seem to see much anymore.
Looks like the Tuatha are up to something. Not exactly the heroes of legend, but you're a welcome sight nonetheless. Cluricon is all swamp, jungle, and death. Have you ever tried fighting an army in a place like this? It's hot, wet, and it always smells like something died, because something did. We've been the front line of this war for the last decade. The fact that Melsen Shear still stands at all is a testament to all we've sacrificed. I was just a child before the siege started. I joined the army because I dreamed of becoming a hero like the great General Tilera. Funny thing, dreams. The General's army used to defend us, but that was before the Tuatha started summoning Niskaru to join them. Tilera's forces never stood a chance. Still, she blamed herself and went into exile. We could have used her here, but heroes only show up when you really need them, right? Those bastards keep squeezing us and squeezing us. Well, it's time for them to see what we mortals can do. When Melsen Shear was built, the Winter Fae weren't the friendliest of neighbors. but they were nothing like the Tuatha they've become. Likely you've come to see the fortress before it falls. I've seen her stand for the last 10 years, but the end, I think, has finally come. Our scouts report that the Tuatha are massing, and in their wake we've seen it. The Niskaru Lord, Baelor, has come for Melsenshir at last. Indeed, they expect us to hide behind the walls of Melsenshir. Instead, we'll rush the field and delay the Baelor's arrival. That leaves the Witch Knight. Malwyn is the commander of the Tuatha forces, and likely the one who has made a pact with the Baelor. You and Talera will be part of an effort to kill him. If we can kill Witch Knight Malwyn, then the Baelor may run rampant in the field, and in the chaos we can rout the Tuatha. It is much to hope for, but that's the plan. The real mission goes to General Talera and yourself. My place is with my brothers and sisters, on the ground and against the enemy. When you're ready, come meet me by the gates. We've hidden from these nightmares long enough. Now we must face them, and perhaps we'll live to see the morning.
Come on, the commander's waiting for us. Commander O'Wyglen wants to talk before we leave. Witch Knight Malwyn and his forces bested me 10 years ago, and I've been preparing myself since then. If I'm not ready now, then I don't deserve another chance.
Pray to Lyri that fate is on our side.
The great general is back, just like she promised. Another 10 years, and I might have started to doubt. The great general is back, just like she promised. Another 10 years, and I might have started to doubt.
I don't care if the bartender's manning the ramparts. Someone has to have a drink for sale.
The great general is back, just like she promised. Another 10 years, and I might have started to doubt. What is it? Time is running out. Steel yourselves. The battle is not to be taken lightly. Then let us go. We've had sightings of the Tuatha vanguard. When they enter the courtyard, we will open the gates and counterattack. You and Talera will use the distraction to execute your plan. One way or another, this will be over soon.
Kore Sunera Alfor! Our hunt for Malwyn can now begin in earnest. I will take one path and you another. If Wygland's troops hold, then Malwyn will be delayed at the outer wall with the Balon. But we should make sure he doesn't get past us. Now, we must get moving. There is no room for error.
Try that again. Someone's got to make sure these ladders stay down. And you need to move before Wygland's troops start falling back.
Finally, some reinforcements. We tried to fight off the Tuatha, but they took most of our company prisoner. They're threatening to execute the rest unless we lay down our arms. You could get in amongst them, silently, if possible, and save what's left of the survivors. I recommend you tread lightly in there. They'll probably kill any survivors if we try to mount a frontal assault. Normally, I'm a scout, but anybody that can swing a blade has to do their part today. The Tuatha moved on us in such numbers, we couldn't hold them all off.
our chance, before they can regain control of the creature. Ah! Theoden, guide my hand. For Rathir! This ends here!
You're still alive. You've got to destroy Baelor before it tears this place apart. I know, child. Everything seemed still in that moment when she struck the Baelor. At least she died how she wanted to. But her sacrifice won't mean anything unless you do something to stop that beast.
You're gonna burn. It's time for
Are you reporting in? A Niskadu as big as this fortress. It's pushed us all the way back here, and now it is tearing down the very walls of Mel Senshir. The Tuatha must be truly mad to conjure up such a beast. Join you? I can't just leave my posting in such a state. I'll try to hold up here best as I can. The Tuatha are all over our lines. The battle is a bit of a mess right now. I heard them stop pounding, a bunch of fighting, and then nothing. Guess I have you to thank that we're not completely overrun. We held off the last wave, and then that thing showed up. I dragged them both here, but I don't think they're gonna make it. Good luck to you.
The Tuatha. They're gone. After 10 years. I can't believe they're finally gone. It's over. After all these years, the siege is broken, and we're alive. Thank the gods for sending you to us. This is a glorious day, but I have heard a bitter rumor in the wake of all of this. Is it true? Has Talera fallen? Then the rumors of her dishonor will finally be silenced. She gave everything to us in the end, and the world will know that. When we rebuild these walls, we'll name them after General Talera. Her memory will stand as long as the ramparts shine. But she never would have been here had you not delivered her to us. It can never be enough, but we hope you'll accept this as our thanks. Now we rebuild. Rubble from the outer walls is still blocking the gate. It will be some time before we can clear it. Until then, Agarth says you've got unfinished business with an old friend in Detir. Don't worry yourself. Soon we will begin the campaign in Cluricon. How can I help you?
Any luck finding the old gnome?
Yes. Be on your way.
greater Niskaru arrived. I thought we were doomed. Looking to restock? Ilin Doldran has what you need. When that Niskaru appeared, I thought that was it. Mel Senshir would fall. No one else in this world could have slain that demon. I thank Lyria you were here with us. The greatest of generals. I heard that when the Niskaru came, she gave her life in order to protect us. I've lived in Mel Senshir all my life. Sold my first potion when I was no taller than a boggart. It was my home before the war started, and it will be my home long after, no matter the outcome. Back again.
The hero of Melsenshire. It is the hero of Melsenshire. Care to take a look at my wares? Looks like she really was the great general after all. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against the Alfar, but this war is great for business. I'm just a traveling merchant. I take my wares where I can get the most profit. Another time, then.
In ancient times, the desert had no shade. The sun burned the land to ruin. The rivers disappeared, and the animals hid underground. The people cried to Helios for mercy, but he didn't answer their prayers. As the plants withered in the heat, the hollow lands echoed with the crackle of fires. Then the winged Saina, the mediator of earth and sky, came from Ishara. She beheld the suffering desert and swooped down upon the hollow land. Her feathers shaded the scorching sands. Her wings cooled the broken ground. Her tears fell to the dust where rivers were born. The land flourished under her gentle plumes. As life returned to the burnt expanse, the people crawled from their caves and saw a majestic silhouette against the open sky. They praised Saina and worshipped her likeness. She replied with a caw that still echoes on the wind.
is it? You! You are my contact. I should have known. Punctuality is not one of your people's strengths, and you have so few. Edessa is the greatest bastion of knowledge and understanding in the world. Alfar have their arts, mankind has its gods, but our only commandments are the solid, predictable laws of natural science. His knowledge is invaluable, and must not fall into the wrong hands. And I'm terribly worried about your safety too, of course. That goes without saying. As Templar, the Forum demands that I do everything in my power to advance our knowledge. It is a tremendous responsibility, and one I take quite seriously. Formerus Hughes is one of my most brilliant scholars, and as you know, his research shows tremendous potential. His recovery is of paramount importance. My fellow Templars and I sponsor research that will lead to the betterment of all mortals. Sadly, Alfar and man alike often have trouble accepting the reason behind our decisions. But most gnomes realize we have their best interests in mind. You may recall our mutual friend, Formerus Hughes. The gnome who brought you back to life? I suspect you would, but I gather you've been quite busy. Well, Scholar Hughes has been missing since the attack on his tower. As his patron, I am quite concerned. I want you to find him. You are, how shall I say, uniquely suited to the task. Don't be obtuse. I am his patron. As such, I own everything that Scholar Hughes produces. I suppose that includes you as well. The secrets in his laboratories are meant for gnome eyes only. They must be controlled. At any cost. I could ask the same question. For all I know, Formerus Hughes is on the run from you. I am willing to assume that's not the case. Simply put, you may be my only chance of locating Hughes, just as I may be yours. It would seem the incident in Alistar made Scholar Hughes a touch paranoid. Every time we receive a clue about his location, he vanishes before I can reach him. But he's running out of places to hide. It's my opinion that there's one hope left of finding Hughes. You. And I'm grateful. Scholar Hughes is quite fortunate to have friends like us. Hughes has an old laboratory in the cavern of Saltwell Mines. I believe he's been conducting research there since the destruction of Alistar Tower. Find him, and you will be rewarded for your contribution to science. I will await your success in the Librarium in Edessa. He may have returned to his old laboratory in Saltwell Mines. But if any of my people approach, he'll flee. He's quite paranoid, for good reason.
What is it?
Have I been down here so long? Is the madness so great that I see the faces of the damned before me? Or is it really you? It is! By the tome! Come closer. Let me look at you. It has been an eternity since I've seen a trusted face. Are you? In many ways, your awakening has brought me nothing but misery. But that is not your fault. I am to blame for all of it. Wait. Do you hear that sound? It could be the Sons of Laz, but it could be someone else. Then assassins? The last we spoke, it was the Tuatha that reduced my lab to cinders. Now it's assassins. Everywhere I go, destruction follows. I have grown so weary of it, my friend. All I ever wanted was to unlock death's secrets, to shed light on the shadows. I never wanted this. Thank you for more than just your protection, for being the one good thing to come of this disaster. I have few friends, but I gladly count you among them. You must be mistaken. I've tried to contact him ever since I fled Alistar, but he never replied. Until now. Octien. Of course. When all the facts are considered, the truth will emerge. Ah, I am a fool! Octien has sent you to search for me. To have us killed together. Those assassins are proof of this. The Well of Souls is his project. Once it was functioning, he no longer needed me. Not if he could salvage the well in Alistar with Ventrinio's help. Ventrinio de Cellini. We used to work together in this lab on projects sponsored by Templar Octien. But when we were tasked with creating the well, Ventrinio sought to use any means at our disposal, regardless of the implications or consequences. Eventually, he was taken away, and I was sent to work at Alistar. But it seems he continued his work here, long enough to create those monsters. They are the animated dead, early experiments in the field of immortality. They will forever haunt these cursed caverns. Ventrinio named them after a mythical figure who rose from the dead. He looked on them and saw potential. I see only abominations. No, not me. But Ventrinio's old notes suggest that he may know a way into Alabastra. I wonder, perhaps, is it possible that you have met Ventrinio already? That would explain it. You were attuned to his well, but raised from mine. Unfortunately, the only way to find Ventrinio is to go through Templar Octien, which will not be easy now that we know of his treachery. Never. The only voice he wishes to hear is his own. We cannot deal with Octien within the boundaries of Edessa. Not alone. There is one who has the power to discredit him. Templar Joriel. She is reputed for her wisdom and strength of character. And as I recall, she and Octien do not exactly see eye to eye on matters of policy. If Joriel can make Octien answer for his crimes, then we will gain access to his information. That includes the location of Ventrinio's lab. If you wish to uncover the mystery of your deaths, then you will need Ventrinio. He is the key to Alabastra. Find Templar Joriel in Edessa. We don't have much evidence, but I have a feeling she will help us. Ah, Edessa. The great gnomish city-state. Knowledge, reason, and logic rule there, as do bureaucracy and intrigue. A clever gnome can go far in that city, and a wise gnome goes far away from it. It's everything I've been able to put together concerning Templar Octien's crimes, with supporting evidence from Ventrinio's notes and correspondence. I always suspected I might need leverage over Octien. It seems Ventrinio felt the same. You must remember to thank him for me. I am Fomerus Hughes, scholar of vivification, prime circle. The Well of Souls was my life's work. The Templars rule from the Forum, and you can't get a thing done in the city without the sponsorship of one of them. They can be powerful allies, but the one thing you don't want to do is get on their bad side. My old colleague, Ventrinio Desilini. For a time we worked together under Templar Octien. He was a brilliant scholar, but a terrible person. I told Octien he couldn't be trusted and refused to work with him, but it appears the Templars simply moved him to another lab with some mysterious assistant. Ventrinio's notes reference some highly capable assistants that joined him in testing the well and collecting Prismia. But there's no mention of their identity. Whoever they are, they're clever, resourceful, and very dangerous. If we could find them, we might have a lead, or even a way into Alabastra. Oh, don't call it that. You're just having a talk with Octien in the library. In return for your discretion, he'll give us what we want. I know it's unpleasant, but when you work with the Templars, you just start thinking this way. It helps you stay alive.
Thanks.
And so, I joke you not, I grabbed a sickle and swung. Took his nose clean off.
Really? Somehow I doubt that.
I'm telling the truth. There must have been about 100 of those damn brigands at my farm.
Yes, I'm sure.
You don't believe me? Take a look at this scar. Right. Oh, wait. There used to be a scar.
Oh, please, go on. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yes? What do you want? I am not in the habit of making conversation with strangers, especially one of your stature. Please be quick. The shining jewel of knowledge. An oasis of reason and order, carved by the gnomes into the dusty wilds of Datir. Unlike the lofty idealism of the Alpha and the messy pragmatism of the humans, we gnomes proudly embrace the virtues of reason and order. As such, we must maintain neutrality in these periodic wars that spring up. We cannot risk tainting our knowledge by taking sides. You understand? It is an estate that I have ordered to be kept empty for when I have need of it, such as now. From their council in the Forum, the Templars guide the advancement of our society. Our tremendous successes are due to their unswerving pursuit of knowledge. Each Templar is allowed a wide degree of freedom in the projects they sponsor, but they are ultimately accountable to the rest of the Forum. I see. Think very, very carefully about what you are saying. Octien is a Templar. He is in a position of the highest authority. And who, may I ask, are you? For you to accuse Octien without having a direct confession is not only meaningless, but contrary to all our procedures. Even if this were true, or even already suspected, it would have to be corroborated by Octien himself. That requires a confession. As he is not here to present the charges himself, I must assume that no such confession exists. Now, I have done all I can for you. Please, trouble me no further with this matter, especially with such insufficient evidence. We have already discussed this. Nothing short of a confession would convict him. As such, Templar Octien will remain undisturbed in the Livrarium.
Hello. I'm here to send regrets on behalf of Templar Joriel. While she wishes to extend you aid, she's stymied by protocol. What she gave you was an official response. I'm here to give you another response. A personal one. I am a political aide for Templar Joriel. I operate in a number of capacities for the Templars' official and unofficial business. My superior has suspected for some time the crimes that you've levied against Templar Octien. But like you, she is frustrated by his status. Allow me to be direct. If you can make Templar Octien publicly acknowledge his crimes, then Templar Joriel will reward you. She will be your patron of sorts. The city is a marvelous place. Recently, my work has taken me farther from its walls for more often, and I'm sadder for it. I am an aide to Templar Joriel. Usually, my work takes the form of drafting letters, taking notes of various functions, and so on. My superior is a very, very busy person. It is unfortunate that some wrongs escape her notice, and those she does notice cannot always be immediately righted. You wish to bring the Templar to justice, yes? Then you must get him to publicly acknowledge his crimes in some form. As my superior no doubt told you, the Templar may be found in the Livrarium. I suggest you go there.
What?
Need something?
Yes? What?
Guest of Sandstone Villa or no, I'm afraid I have little time of which to suffer a distraction. Odessa's done a lot for the sake of this desert. It's our coin that keeps Ironfast Keep in mail, and it keeps the mines open. Somehow, it has fallen to me to make sure the Grand Bursar is appropriating gold to meet our needs correctly. I was not trained for this. In reality, the positions of scholars in the Basilica are abstract enough that we are called upon to monitor a variety of concerns and issues, academic and banal. Yes, yes.
Hello?
What?
You're alive. What What an unexpected and quite unfortunate turn of events. For starters, I expected you to be rotting in a sandy ditch somewhere. Supper for the carrion birds. Understand, you and I are alike. All we both want is to see this business reach its end. Did it? Here you stand, suspecting me of a great many crimes, yet unable to lift a finger. Tell me, who has the power? Or what? You'll slaughter me in a murderous rage? Typical. Your kind is as predictable as it is stupid. I'm afraid you'll find me quite hard to kill. Unfortunately, I cannot say the same for you. Attack me in this city, and I won't just have you clapped in irons. No, I'll hand you over to the scholars in the Basilica for research. A long career supporting vivification research has left me with certain advantages. You could say I'm more resilient than most of your enemies. I'll admit, I did not see Ewan Hughes lying to blackmail me. His conscience was always his biggest liability. Ventrinio will take over research on the well. He has no such weaknesses. Perhaps I'll even give him your corpse to examine. After all, you met your first death as his assistant. It would be a reunion. Of course. And it's such a pity you'll never find out.
Well, if setting fire to the livrarium and hiring assassins is not an admission of guilt on Octien's part, I certainly don't know what is. It is clear that we Templars must make him assume responsibility for his actions, overt as well as hidden. Even though you went against my explicit instruction, you were effective. You have my respect. Should he survive the wounds earned in battle, I should think so. To that effect, I have ordered a moratorium on all of his current studies and projects. All, perhaps, save this mysterious Well of Souls. That one will take some deliberation, considering its various ethical and societal ramifications. Regardless, Gnome Society is in your debt, and we always pay what is owed. Ventrinio Desalini. One name I never expected to be brought into this business. It seems he has escaped the gallows yet again. I believe your friend Scholar Hughes may be able to help. While you were here, my people found him salvaging the tomes Octien attempted to burn. Now, you must excuse me. A Templar has fallen from power, and Edessa's political buzzards are circling.
Blessings to you.
What's needed?
It was my mistake to assume that Octien would go quietly, or that he would leave evidence behind. Such a waste. Some of those books he burned were centuries old, but luckily for us, I was able to salvage some from the flames. Oh, a great many prizes. Treatises on the nature of death, tables upon tables of autopsy analyses, but only one item of true value. Octien's diary. Based off of what I've read in these pages, Ventrinio has been working on an island off of Cluricon. Indeed. I hear rumors that Melsin Shear has been cleared and the army is ready to march into Cluricon and beyond. Sounds like you're to thank for that. And when you meet Ventrinio, be wary. He's a complicated figure, but a genius nonetheless. He may try to kill you the second time around as well. But regardless, he has a way into Alabastra. I hope for your sake, he's willing to share it. Unfortunately, research on the Well of Souls will be put on hold. Octien organized it in secret, and the other Templars will want to learn all they can of it. But I do not think I'll be idle in the meantime. With Octien out of the way, there will be need of a new Templar in Edessa. My old colleague, Ventrinio Desilini. For a time we worked together under Templar Octien. He was a brilliant scholar, but a terrible person. Octien's journal shows that Ventrinio's assistant died during an important mission into the heart of Alabastra. I don't know how to say this, but the date of the assistant's death is shortly before you came back to life.
Yes?
Octien seems to have gotten what he deserves. I can't say I understand gnomish politics, but Hughes is safe, and now we know where Ventrinio is. Seems like a win. No time to clean up, though. I've got news from the front lines in Cluricon. The army has been making progress in Cluricon, but the further we push, the harder it gets. The Tuatha know the land and are too well organized. But we've heard rumors of a small band of Winter Fae harassing the Tuatha somewhere in the swamps. The scouts can't track them down, but perhaps the hero of Melsin Shear could find them.
Off into the swamps, I assume? None that would be of any help. After a decade of Tuatha control, they've all gone quiet. But if there are any out there, I'm sure they'll be looking for you. Just keep your eyes open. After all, you'll be in their swamp. Be on your way.
Our soldiers are doing their best out there, but it's still a nightmare. We've heard rumors about a band of soldiers striking the Tuatha for years, but nothing solid. They said their forces were crippled by a bitter frost, but it never gets that cold in the swamps. If you believe the rumors, they attack and then fade into the swamps of Cluricon without a trace. Just go out there, and I suspect they'll find you. Watch out for those red-eyed bastards.
Hail, warrior.
I am Megan, nurse to the wounded soldiers of the Alpha. How can I help you? Mistress Skaith is our head surgeon, though lately she's taken to disappearing for hours at a time. I cannot help but wonder where she goes. He came to us broken from the fighting. I fear that though his flesh has survived the siege, his mind has not. My family does not understand. They want me to settle down somewhere. There are so many who suffer and so few who help. I cannot just turn and look the other way. The poor soldiers of Melsenshire desperately need a healer's touch. There are so many dead or dying, and so few of us to help. Stay safe.
You! Stop! State your business!
Keep your hands off me, fool. I'm no Tuatha. I must speak with the Siegebreaker. You are the one I see. It is a pleasure to meet the Siegebreaker. Especially here, in a land where pleasure has been all too rare. I am Sidon the Outcast, Prince in exile of the House of Sorrows. I'm here to welcome you to our home. I see the hesitation in your eyes. Although I am Fae of the Winter Court, you and I have a common enemy. I am Sidon the Outcast. Once, I was Prince of the House of Sorrows, but my true duties are to the true Court of Winter. The Winter Fae have been disgraced and despoiled by Gadflo and the Tuatha. With your help, I can end their reign. Clearly I'm not Tuatha. I carry a loathing for them that mortals could never understand. I simply approached your lines peacefully and expressed my desire to speak with the Siegebreaker. It seems that even the simplest mortal soldier can recognize an ally against our mutual enemy. Indeed. You accomplished a great feat here. But the Tuatha Deon are far from defeated. Before striking the heart, you must trim the fat and cleave through the bones. If you wish to put an end to Gadflo's reign, meet my brethren and me at Foe's Hearth to the east, and we can talk further there. Yes, I traveled with Agarth back in his prime. But those are stories for another time. I've heard of her, and I've seen her work. A dead diplomat here, a salvaged peace treaty there, a handful of lies told to protect an innocent. But even as a collector of secrets, there's precious little I know about her. Nothing could be more beautiful than a mystery like her. We are the remains of the Winter Fae. Refugees from the capital of Bale. Outcasts from the houses. And those who escaped Prismere Blades. The Tuatha have taken our court and our birthrights. And for that, we will take their lives, to restore a balance once again. I am Sidon the Outcast. Once I was Prince of the House of Sorrows, but my true duties are to my kind. The Winter Fae have been disgraced and despoiled by Gadflo and his new god. For House and Heartbreak, I shall end his reign. We have walked these lands for countless ages, always playing the same roles, always seeing to the proper cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Now, we face the end of our ways. Not from the mortals, as some had feared, but from our own kind. That little fool used to be nothing more than a capering jester in the Winter Court. That he found the power to rise against the High King and defeat him. It's enough to make you think there's something to his god, Tirnoch. The House of Sorrows is home to the lovelorn, the desperate, and those ravaged by hope. Together, my brethren and I took back what the world had taken from us. Now, the Tuatha have taken our people, our houses, and our self-respect. We grieve at these losses, but we shall take them back by whatever means necessary. Home of my heart, and grave of my troubles. This is where the brave and foolish come to die. And in death, they feed the swift and sly. Prismere has always grown in our lands, but only with a surge of magic into our world was it anything other than a simple gem. When mortals think of Fae, they prefer to think of a summer court. And why not? They're radiant and true, even if they are too full of themselves. By all means, pretend all the Fae are like them. You'd never dare go to sleep if you truly understood the rest of us. The Tuatha have corrupted the very soul of the Unseelie, twisting our people, stealing our noble houses, and driving our true leaders into exile. I've tried to get the Unseelie to unite against them, but by the time we realized their threat, it was too late. But I'll not give up. No need to be surprised. We know that you seek the corpse collector. Secrets are among our specialties. It wasn't so long ago that you were working with him here. But then, that was a lifetime ago for you, wasn't it? We're only a shadow of what we were before Gadflow poisoned our minds. Seems natural for embodiments of decay, doesn't it? But unlike our lighter siblings in the Summer Court, we'll fight to cleanse the Tuatha from our lands, just as any wounded animal would. I'd rather not talk here. Cluricon is filled with Tuatha spies. Travel to the old ruins at Foe's Hearth. We'll meet you inside and we can talk there. Now be careful.
So few of the Winter Court left to stand again. You go ahead. It's been some time since Sidon and I had a chance to talk.
Indeed, Agarth. I hear on the winds that you laid down your sword and drowned yourself in drink when you learned the ways of fate. And yet here you are, sword in hand, again the victor. How is this? Do the winds lie to me?
It's a long tale. It started when I sobered up long enough to go bury a friend of mine in Alistar Tower. Or rather, that's what I had planned to do. Good to see Sidon still around. It's been a long time. I had wondered what happened to the Winter Fae when Gadflow took control. Seems that they formed the Bitter Frost. They've got as much to fight for as our kind, and nothing left to lose. We couldn't ask for a better ally. Old Sidon's a snake, but he's still on our side. Why, I remember when he helped rescue my fiancée from Rassanon, back in my younger days. Of course, she called off the wedding and just mooned over Sidon after all that. He has that effect. Sidon and I used to be best of friends. Sure, it's been a decade or two, but for Faye, that's barely a blink of the eye. I'd trust him with my life. Good luck with Sidon.
Off into the swamps, I assume? Sidon's band of merciless Fae with lifetimes of training and everything to fight for? Yes, I think they'll be quite useful allies indeed. I've heard tales of his work, half trickster, half spirit of vengeance. Believe it or not, the House of Sorrows is the most welcoming of the Unseelie houses. Then again, a viper nest is friendlier than the houses of pride and vengeance. You can't trust half of the people you know, but you don't need to trust someone to have a mutual goal. Good hunting.